Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
Hi, this is Ed Cohen, your broadcast host on Global TV Talk Show in San Diego, California. Today is a big day in America, 20 January, Inauguration Day. A new life, a new now, hopefully a lot better. Okay, so let's go to Lebanon. Our special guest today is Irma Vartanian V Balian. Hello and welcome to Global TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm really honored to have you here and to meet you, actually. Been reading your LinkedIn, and your company is ProtocolWise. And so your background and your keen interest has been relevant to senior level corporate and also the diplomatic corps. Is that correct?
Correct. And I initially am a mathematician. So that, along with my background in corporate and the fact that I am really curious about cultures and the privilege that I had to travel and study and live in 3 different continents and travel all around the world has given me this idea that was in a way in me to be more interested in cultures and leadership, because I have been in family business as well, and I have been in leadership role. So when someone talks to me about leading in a corporate world, leading and negotiating with people across the border, I know what they are talking about, and I can relate to that. And the fact that, I love reading about cultures has really given me this chance to explore. And the more I explored, the more I enjoyed it. So that, combined with my credentials and my certificates, I dived into this journey about training in soft skills, training people about how to negotiate across cultures, because that is a little bit different than how you negotiate in your own environment. Now, negotiations have 2 parts to it. To them. One part is the content of what you're going to negotiate, and the other part is the relationship. And a lot can make or break because of your rapport or the way you come across with people. And a lot of times people miss that or don't necessarily give it that much importance. And I have realized throughout my career, throughout experiences, that human touch and human relations are really important. And they are sometimes even more important than the content itself, because people end up being comfortable and wanting to go the next step in a business with people they are comfortable and like. Now that might be good, that might be bad. Sometimes it depends, but that's the key.
It builds trust, and that is really important. So how long have you been doing this kind of diplomatic approach to cross-cultural training?
Well, it built up. I started with my career in ProtocolWise as the founder, and I was mainly doing more about soft skills. And I realized that the cultural aspect is really important. And I realized with my trainings that the cultural aspect is not necessarily only about nations or ethnicities or different country traditions. These are all good, but culture can also be within the environment where you are. The difference in cultural aspects exist everywhere, within the same company as well. And I realized that, and it's been a couple of years that I'm focusing on this. I do write articles. I recently contributed in a book that's going to come out soon,
Oh,
uh,
really?
about the cultural aspect of Lebanon. How if someone wants to come and do business in Lebanon, what are the things that they should focus on, or try to get prepared for it before they come? Because especially in the Arab world, people have this misconception sometimes that oh, okay, in the Arab world this is how it's done, superficially maybe, but each country has its own culture, and within each country's culture there are different cultures. There's subcultures about the corporate world, the banking sector, the government sector. They have their own cultures, and depending on which sector you are going to target, you have to know more about that particular culture.
So getting to know people as a stranger is really sensitive and really difficult for many, many people. And dealing with people in a very old, beautiful culture, uh, like in Lebanon, where there are so many different sects, so many different subcultures.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. How long have you um, been in Lebanon?
I was born in Lebanon,
Hmm.
and I'm Lebanese, but of Armenian descent. So that
Yes,
also makes me
it's different.
multicultural.
It's different.
Yeah, yeah, very different. You
Yeah.
know, they, as a matter of fact, totally different approach to the same concept. But with with the habits of living together, there are many things that you take from each other, habits or rituals or way of thinking even, but these are all on the surface. um, the approach might be different, and that's when people talk about cognitive diversity anyways, but that's a different subject. Yes, I was born here, and then I'm British by choice, so, and I'm Lebanese by birth,
Yeah.
and Armenian.
So, yeah, it's a very interesting mixture. I bet the food is just wonderful in your house.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, um, I read in your background some really interesting things about your work in protocol.
Hmm.
That means simply how to do things properly, not to be offensive, and also to establish comfort and rapport with people who you really don't know and they don't know you. And so this takes a very special touch, doesn't it?
Yeah, protocol. To me, my definition of it, at the end of the day, it's doing the right thing to the right person in the right way. and and with protocol you need to have cultural knowledge as well,
Yeah.
because they go hand in hand. If you want to do something the right way to a particular person, you have to have the right approach towards that person, which might be different approach than person B, whoever that person is.
So a
And
lot of that is preparation, knowing who you're going to be with, or being educated to begin with, at least initially, about different cultures and different eating habits or how people
definitely.
meet or greet strangers.
Oh, yes, yes. And a lot of times, protocol faux pas happens because of lack of preparation, as you said. And a protocol is the work that is done behind the curtains always. And when you're a protocol officer, the last thing you get actually is recognition. And your recognition and your success is if the event or the situation turns out to be smooth and
Right.
perfect. I mean,
Right.
some
Right.
people would want to say that there is no perfection even in protocol, but protocol has to be perfect for that particular situation.
So what about the difference between how women do this and how men do this?
Well, it's a different approach. Women have their own style, and men they have their own. But sometimes if women want to do things, once they get to that top level, once they get to the success that they wanted, it is sometimes a different journey than men because until now, unfortunately, women are not given as much opportunity as men in many ways, even in the most developed countries. But the thing is, and because of that, a lot of women only focus on their own strength and only rely on themselves and their achievements and their self motivation. And that gets them to the success they want. But once you as a woman get to the success level that you want, you maybe want to transition your skills or your approach in a different way. For example, in the beginning, if you are a competitive person and you push yourself, that gets you to where you want. But when you are on a top level where people start depending on you, you should not have that approach anymore where you are only focusing on your own success, because it is confusing sometimes, because that's what got you to the top. And you probably say to yourself, well, if this works, why should I break this habit? But when you get to that point, um, you have to have the maturity to switch and focus more on the people who depend on you, focus more on helping them to thrive. It's not about you anymore, it's about them.
So it's a matter of having a certain level of not just poise, but self knowledge and comfort.
Wisdom, yeah, some wisdom as well,
Yeah.
and give people the chance. I've seen a lot of women, because of their past struggles. It's like a baggage they carry with them on every step that they reach and during their success, and that sometimes backfires. When you are at the top, in a leadership position, it's not about you anymore, it's about the people who depend on you, it's about your team, it's about your company, it's about the image of the corporation, and it's about the success of a particular project. And then if all these ingredients work, then your reward is the success of the whole package itself.
Yes.
So
Well said. Very well said. And now a word from our co-sponsors. Our programs wouldn't happen without the wonderful support of our advertisers. Here they are.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
CubeMonk, featuring the world's first smart cube. Track your goods with our advanced GPS system. Welcome to the future of moving and relocation at cubemonk.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by heirs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at heirs.com.
Insured Nomads provides protection and peace of mind, with health insurance, travel insurance, group, or tailored insurance for the globally mobile. Visit us at insurednomads.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Hi, my name is Christine. I'm a nurse from the Philippines, and I got to know IAS through Worldwide Health Staff Solutions. And I want to thank IAS, especially to Matthew, for helping me get my car stress-free, headache-free. And so I just want to show you the car that I got. So it's a RAV4 XLE 2020.
As an expat moving to the USA, relocating is exciting, but it can also be stressful. Getting a car, truck, or SUV for personal transportation is usually a high priority. That's where International Auto Source comes in. We make getting the vehicle you want for your work assignment or academic program easy, so you're ready to drive when you arrive. Our product specialists have helped over 50,000 expatriates with their personal transportation needs, making us the largest international auto retailer in the world. International Auto Source gives you flexible payment options to buy, lease, or rent a vehicle from the world's leading auto brands, arrange financing on a purchase or lease without a U.S. credit history, social security number, or driving record, get full insurance coverage, and get approved easily through our low-rate factory-backed financing programs. And because we're an authorized distributor of the world's leading automotive brands, our no-haggle prices are competitive, and the buying experience is hassle-free. We'll even guarantee your new vehicle will be ready the day you arrive. With over 20 years of experience in the global community, we are the vehicle experts for expats. We are International Auto Source.
there's a lot of women that are striving to get to that top level, and some are there already, of course,
Yes.
and many are knocking on that door right now. And
Mm.
just look at the new vice president of the U.S. as a perfect
Yeah,
example.
really exciting.
Uh, so, but people have a different way, and women in particular, I'm aware, have very different way of thinking about who they are and how they fit in. And many, even though they're successful,
Mhm.
they're really uptight about how they appear to
Mm.
be. And if they don't know something, they fake it rather than say openly. And these are successful people. They withhold their honesty to try to portray an image of what they think is leadership. And
Mm.
so, in protocol and dealing with different people across cultures and the diversity, um, which is my next question to you, uh, how I think you have to do this really quietly and in a nice way somehow. Um, but how do you teach protocol? How do you teach that wisdom to people who show a lack of um, or a lack of portrayal of comfort in a difficult situation?
That's a very good question. Um, the first step for people um, to improve, because when you first of all, when you tell people they have to change, they get very defensive,
Hmm,
and people don't usually like that word a lot, even though we
right.
use it. But when it comes to a particular person, they would say, why should I change? What's wrong with me? I'm comfortable with the way I am. Why shouldn't he or she change? Why shouldn't the situation change? And so one first step is to approach it in a delicate way and empathetic way. So if you come across as judgmental, and if you come across as someone who wants to change the way they think, they just block and they don't want to do this anymore. First of all, you need to make them feel comfortable, a psychological safety. It's like everyone goes through a transition, and everyone needs to improve. It's not a comparison. It's the only comparison it is with your own self, with your own older version. and and the focus should be on improving your own version, on self development. And everyone has a different journey, and everyone has a um, different different timing of awareness. Sometimes it takes people a little bit more time to realize things, but I think the approach is key. Your message must be really simple. It might be really simple, and the solution might be really simple as well. But if in the mind of the person things are not clear, then forget it.
Yeah.
The most simple thing is gonna be misunderstood and even miscommunicated and lead to really disaster sometimes. So the approach is important, and consideration.
So it's a big deal now, this diversity idea, this concept, and
Yeah.
culture. It's really about company culture, organizational culture, personal culture. And so, what does this mean to you?
Yeah. Well, diversity. First of all, as you said, it's something really big now, and but I think it's m- misinterpreted sometimes, because I noticed that all around the world, when companies want to portray a positive image about themselves, like a good brand, all they do is focus on superficial diversity. I say superficial because it's a level that is not necessarily a deep level of diversity. They focus on hiring people from different ethnic backgrounds, different age groups, like different generations, gender differences. All these are good and they should be there. But these are not the diversity levels that lead companies to success necessarily. And most of the time, there has been a study by the Harvard Business School that diversity has to be focused more on cognitive diversity as much as the other levels. So it's not only about hiring people from different ethnic backgrounds, but it's also focusing on having people in your team who have a different approach of solving the same problem, because that's what's going to enrich the team. If we all think the same way, even if we don't look alike, but if we all think the same way and we all don't challenge each other and don't come with different approaches or different mindsets, we're all going to be uniform, and the mood is going to be just black or white. You're not going to have colors anymore.
So cognitive means being aware. Is that correct?
Yeah, and having a different sort of approach, different perspectives into solving the same issue or problem. And that I noticed that when leaders focus on these superficial diversities, at the end of the day, they themselves are not necessarily people who have that mindset of encouraging diversity. It's like as if they do it to portray that image, but deep down inside, they don't necessarily believe in that diversity. And therefore, a lot of times, groups, teams in companies who have that diversity, that superficial level of diversity, end up not including the people from diverse cultures into the decision making. So that shows in a way that these people, these particular people who are in charge of hiring and leading, are not doing the work they should be doing efficiently. Because if the lights were not on them, to promote diversity, they would probably not do that. Because when you don't want to go deep into diversity, it means that it doesn't mean that much to you. And people's behavior don't change unless you improve their mindset. It's all in the mind. You have to change the way you think, the way you approach matters. It's not only about the behavior. If in my mind, let's say, if in my mind I am a racist, but superficially I pretend not to be, if I'm in a situation where nobody's gonna see me, I'm still gonna act the way I personally believe or am convinced to do so. So we haven't achieved anything by that. It's just by educating the mind and educating people's mindset that we can really make that switch.
Well, it takes a long time, right?
But we have to focus on that, because that's the only way we're going to get good everlasting results. It's not just superficially pretending to be to promote diversity.
So you take baby steps, small steps, one after another, achieve some success with something, then go to another one and then another one.
Yes, I think the most important thing is the first step, which is awareness, to see how it is that you think. What is it about your way of thinking that you should consider more, and see why it is that you think the way you do, and make people think that. Make people really make that exercise of finding out why they have that particular approach. Why are they doing this? Are they having this decision for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons? Because if they are for the wrong reasons and they are in another situation similar to this, they're not going to act in the positive or healthy way that is expected.
So I want to change the subject a little bit, but
Yeah.
still under the umbrella of what we're talking about. I read in your background that you have an expertise of serving tea, afternoon tea, and that you teach it, and you, of course, practice it. But that is, well, it's not just for women. It's
No, for
it's a matter of comfort in the cultural
yeah.
way at a senior level.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in countries where tea is part of the culture, like in the UK, a lot of meetings, a lot of negotiations do take place in around a cup of tea, and to know these, the particular um, steps or the correct way of serving, the correct way of eating, or appreciating and preparing are really important. And because I'm really a tea person myself, and I've done courses about that. So I do teach about afternoon tea and the skills and the etiquette steps that people need to take into consideration and know when they're gonna
So
be
it so it's just
situated.
not a British custom, it's also a custom in the Arab community.
It's true, but it's different. It's a totally different way of serving, totally different types of teas, and I mean, you don't have the afternoon tea sandwich, scones, and the pastries thing. It's just, you would be served after meals, and with small cookies, and that has nothing to do with the afternoon tea. But we, in the Arab world, we do drink tea in the morning as well, uh, for breakfast. Oops, sorry, I don't know if you were able to hear those sounds from my computer.
No, I
Apologize.
did not.
Oh, good. I heard it. So, um, yeah, we have that habit as well, but it's a little bit different. And in the Arab world, they do drink a lot of coffee as well. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but to say something really quick, in this uh, part of the world, when you are served tea or you are served coffee, whatever it is, they people do that out of their generosity and hospitality, and it's a sign of warmth and a sign of trying to build a sort of a relationship or a rapport. So I always say to clients who don't like coffee, like myself, because if you are used to the American coffee or like coffee in Europe, it's a little bit heavier. If you are a coffee drinker, you would appreciate it. But if you're not, it's a little bit, it's I think it's heavy, but a lot of people love it. So if you're even someone who doesn't like it, uh, just show appreciation. Just you know, take it and take a couple of sips. It's okay, but these so small nuances make a big difference when you are showing some positivity and goodwill. It's really important in this part of the world when you are trying to build relationships, because a lot of um, a lot of times business is based on trust and relationships, and these are just really insignificant steps, but yet very important.
So we're going to come to a close in a few minutes. So tell us your website and the how people can learn about you.
Yeah, my website is www.protocolwise.com, and I'm on LinkedIn. My name appears as Irma Vartanian Balian, and anytime they can reach me. I'm available, and I'm always open for connections. And I do have my social media accounts as well with ProtocolWise.
That's ProtocolWise. That's a really cool name. That's PROTOCAL. Protocol. No, O's, not A. So
Yeah,
PROTOCOL. ProtocolWise.
Yes, that's one
ProtocolWise.com. All right, that's cool. So, do you have advice for women about how to look or what to wear, uh,
uh,
how to be on camera? Here we are. But is there some quick advice?
quick advice about the virtual world, you mean, or just
Yeah, and just how to behave.
yeah, for the virtual world, try to wear colors that are solid, not flowery, not big patterns, because on the screen it looks different than how it does in your when you're looking at yourself in the
Yeah.
mirror. If you have a presentation, I would recommend dark color of or red lipstick, a good red lipstick, because it makes a difference when you're talking. And focus on the green light of your computer, not on the screen when you're talking. If
I know.
someone,
I'm looking right at.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Uh, but when you are talking, it's okay for me to look at the screen.
yeah.
That's how I'm. And eye contact is really important, even in the virtual world. And the only way to do that with your audience or the people you are communicating with virtually is to do it through the lens of the camera. And another thing is your hands. Your hands are important. And in the real world, in face to face, people can see your hands more. They have more chance to see them. But try to have your hands around when you are also on the screen. Otherwise, if I'm standing this way, sitting this way the whole time, it doesn't give a good, comfortable image about me, and it doesn't make me comfortable.
There they are.
Yeah, exactly. And have a good posture.
Mhm.
And another thing is to do a lot of breathing exercises before you do your presentation, because sometimes when you're talking and for some reason you don't find the right words, or you get nervous about what you're going to say, that affects your breath, and that affects the tone of your voice. And in the virtual world, that is really crucial. So if you do good breathings and you are well prepared, you'll do just fine. And don't forget to smile.
Thank you. So it's been cloudy and rainy here, and all of a sudden the sun has come out and it's reflecting on a
Yeah.
window across the street. Oh, I'm seeing this light coming at me. So I apologize for this brightness and whoa. So Irma, I really appreciate you and thank you very much for being my special guest on Global TV Talk Show. I will send you this link and it will be in our resource library on our website, and that will also take you to, or take the watcher to our YouTube channel. And this show will be available free of charge 24/7 for a year. So a lot of people will be seeing this. I thank you very much for being my guest. I really have learned from you, and thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, and goodbye. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.